Well, I am guilty. I ended up picking up another new palette that just dropped. I can't seem to really help myself these days, but I am going to go ahead, review it, and create this eyeshadow look you see me wearing right now. I hope you will join me while I do so, and if that's the case, please keep on watching. Hey there friends, I'm Nikki and welcome back to my channel. I upload a minimum of 3 days per week, but the days can vary. So the best thing you can do is join the party I've got going on here. See that little button down below that says subscribe? Just click it. Just click it and then you will get notified and not miss any of my uploads. If you already have subscribed, thank you so very much. I greatly do appreciate it. Now here on my channel, I do a lot of wig reviews and other wig related content. However, I also love makeup. It is my other passion. So I also bring you makeup looks and reviews, which is what today's video is gonna be all about. I am going to be trying out and reviewing the new Pricked palette from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, which of course, as I've just mentioned, is the look I am wearing right now. So I will be creating that for you and giving you my final thoughts on it. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and take a look at this palette. And this is it right here. Now, again, I'm not one for packaging, but I gotta admit, this is pretty darn cute. It's a purse. Who would have ever thunk it that we would end up with a purse palette one day? I know I sure didn't. So I think it's really adorable and it's sturdy too. That is another thing that his palettes are known for being. I think this is going to be easier to store too. I can't really say the same thing about the Bloodlust palette though. That's like in its own separate drawer here, but this is much easier to store. And before I open it up, I just want you to know I'm not going to be doing any swatches. That's not what I do here on my channel. I just am more concerned of how the shadows look on the eyes. But it does have this cute little clasp for easy opening and closing. So let's go ahead and open her on up. And voila, this is what we have got. There is also a large round mirror, but there's a total of 18 shades altogether. There are mattes, there are shimmers, and there's even a couple of pressed glitters in here, 3 of them to be exact. So I really do love that. And I just love this color story. I think it's perfect for the fall. It's oranges too. I just love oranges. It's one of those colors that you love or you hate. I am one that loves it. So I got really super excited when I saw that this palette was coming out, and it was another one I knew I just had to try. So it's here now, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I wanted to go with a more bold and dramatic type of look. So that's what I've got on, and that's what we're gonna create. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, I am so excited to give this palette a whirl. And I understand that my makeup videos don't get as many views as my wig review videos do, and that's totally fine by me because I love makeup. So I love making these videos, and I really hope you enjoy them either way. But another thing I want to get off my chest real quick, it's something I kind of touched base on before in a previous video, but just in case you missed it or just in case you are new, I understand how Jeffree Star's got some issues, controversy, we'll put it that way. And because of that, some of you have chosen not to purchase from his company, which I do support. But for me, it's about the makeup, not the person. So when I make a purchase, I feel that I'm going to go help everybody else that works for the company, not just the owner. But I do not condone his actions, statements, behaviors, none of that. Just wanted you to know. So how I'm going to do it is I have got one eye already primed because I'm only going to do one eye on camera. Then off camera, I will complete the look, come back, let you know what I used to complete it, give you a real good close-up of it, and give you my final thoughts on the palette. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and do it. Again, I have one eye primed. I did use P. Louise, but I always have to touch it up a little bit because of creasing, and it's been on there for a hot minute. So when I get that right, hopefully that's good enough. So with this palette, I have been looking it over and trying to decide what shades I want to use. Wish I could use them all. Obviously, I'm just not in one look. And I want to first dip into this shade here called Double Crossed. It's this one right there. And I'm gonna dip into that using a Jaclyn Hill JH37 brush. So I'm gonna take some of that and I'm gonna put that on the outer part of my crease. So right along here and bring it in. Not going to bring it in all the way, just a little bit past the halfway mark. And then I'm going to blend it up a little bit too, not too much though. I'm just going to get that on there. And that's a really nice brown shade. I know that a lot of times I've been kind of surprised when it comes to Jeffree Star's shadows, when I think I'm going to be expecting it to look one way and then you get it on the eye and it looks totally different. Even when you swatch it, sometimes it can look differently. And that's why I don't rely on swatches so much. But this shade is definitely looking how it does in the pan. See how nicely that is blending. It's really, really pretty. This is one of those shades that I think is going to go with everything else. Definitely will. So you can see how I did that. I only dipped into it twice because I don't want to have it too much, but I want it to show well enough, of course. So let me just clean my brush. So what I want to dip into next is, whoops, almost. What I dip into next is this shade here called Thorny. That one, I don't know really how to describe it exactly. It looks kind of brown, but it definitely has got more of an orangey tone to it. But I want to take that and put that here, the inner part of my crease, just like that. Bring it over a little bit. And by the way, I'm using a Refer 15 brush for this. And this is only one dip here for this shade, which is kind of what I expected. His shades are very pigmented. So I'm gonna get that into the crease. Let me take a little tiny bit more and put that in my crease. Just want to make sure that gets very well blended out. So I want those two shades to kind of go together there, just run right into each other, but without a real harsh line between the two of them. So that's what I am doing here. All right, so that's a really pretty orange shade. Again, I don't really know how to describe that shade. Some of you probably can come up with the perfect one off the top of your head like that. I'm just not creative enough to think of it. So, but I do like it. I think it goes well with the double cross shade that I just put on. And what I want to do next is take, where is it here? And the vitamin C. It's this one right up here. It looks almost kind of yellow or beige, but when I swatched it, it had a more of a later orange tone to it. So I'm gonna dip into that using a Morphe Jeffree Star blending brush. And ooh, wow, that one's got quite a bit of kickback. I know some of you find that really important, others don't, but I mention it regardless. But I wanna put that right up over here where I put that double crossed shade, and then bring it over. Do you see how much lighter that is? Like I said, it doesn't quite look exactly like it does in the pan. As I mentioned before, with his shades, they do that. But I just want to get that on there just to highlight a little bit more and bring it in. And I'm liking again how these shades are blending. I think that looks good for that. And I just want to bring it over a little more and out, kind of wing it a little bit. Not too much though. And that is pretty light. I don't know if I want to put more on there. Let's go for it. I do want it to be light, but I also want it to kind of pop a little bit and show. So yeah, let's go ahead and add a little more. Yeah, I think that was probably a good idea. Glad I did that. But I do like that orange. I don't think I have a shade like this in any of my other palettes either. So I do like that. That is really, really pretty. So let me clean my brush. I do that after every time. And in case you're wondering how often I actually wash my brushes, I do it daily. After each use, I wash them so that way they don't pile up. All right, so next I'm gonna grab a Rougher 14 brush, and I wanna dip into this maroon shade down here called Slice Me Open. I wanna take that and deepen up my outer corner a little bit. Just grab my other mirror. I just want to put that right in here and deepen that up. Oh wow, that is super pretty. And that, again, only one small little dip is all I used, and it's going a long way. But I can tell you this much, I'm gonna go back into the first shade I used, Double Crossed, and put that a little bit more into my crease because this shade is covering it up too much, and I don't want that to happen. So I am just going to put this on first. But wow, that is gorgeous. I love that red. It's kind of vampy even. Very, very pretty. So I'm just gonna keep blending that out. Get that in the crease really nice. There we go. All right, so again, I want to go back into that Double Cross shade that I first used. I'm going to take some more of that and put that right here in my crease. Right there, a little more. There, so then that way it at least shows up more. Again, I felt that it was getting washed out, and I'm going to take a little bit of it and put it right here too again, just because I want that gradient look. But of course it's got to be blended nicely, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm using a really light hand with this too. I'm holding the brush down towards the bottom. Just to lightly blend that out. There we go. All right. So let me grab my next brush. All right, so the brush that I grabbed next is a Lunar Beauty L3, and I really want to try this black shade down here, which is called Deadly Intentions. It's right here. It's may look like a matte on camera, but it is not. It is definitely a shimmer shade, and it has got some orange sparkles in it. But this I'm going to be very, very careful with because I know how he does his black shadows. They are very pigmented. I just want to be very careful, but definitely want to get some. So let me put that right here on the outer corner of my lid. Right here. Deepen that up a little bit. I'm being very, very gentle here. So I want it to blend, obviously, but I don't want it to get too mixed in with everything else. So just tapping that on and doing very small swipes, because I also don't want to experience too much fallout if I can avoid it. But I just want to deepen up that little bit in the corner right here, right there. Just want to get that on there. All right, so of course on camera it's just looking black. It really is. But I can see here in my mirror it does have those gold flecks a little bit in there. Not gold, I'm sorry, orange. So I am liking that. But I really, really wanted to try that shade. So I'm glad I did. All right, now for my lid, there are a couple shimmers on here that I got to try. And the first one is, what is this called? Unblunted. I don't understand all of his names, but it's this one right here, this darker gold right there. So I want to take some of that. I'm going to take this on a Morphe FX Ariel A29 brush. See if it picks up first. I know a lot of people will jump right into using their finger, which is fine. Me, I prefer to try a brush first. And I'm going to put that right here on the outer part of my lid to where it matches up with that black I just used. Thankfully, it's going on fine with a brush. I'm liking that. And by the way, I don't do cut creases too often. I still do them, but my eyes are so hooded, a lot of times it doesn't even make a difference. They almost look exactly the same. So that's why I am not doing that again today. Just gonna take a little more into that. There we go. That is really, really beautiful. I love Jeffree Star's shimmer shades. They are always like some of the best that I own. But I am just going to color switch this because I want to use the same brush for the next shade, which is Glimmer of Hope, it's called. And it's this lighter gold one right down here on the bottom. So let me try that one with a brush. Again, it's picking it up at least. That's always a good sign. And I'm going to put that on the rest of my lid here, having those two blend together. Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of the gold shade, I can't remember the name of it, that I used in the Surge palette. But this one has got a little bit more sparkle. Oh my gosh. That is super beautiful. Super beautiful. And I'm not going to dip into it again. I don't think I need to. Just the one dip was enough. Oh, I take that back. Let me take a little bit more because, again, my eyes crease. I want to get it right here. There we go. That's where I have the most creasing on my eyes. Right there. Oh my Lord. I'm very happy with that shade. I think those are beautiful together. Very beautiful golds. All right. So for my inner corner, I'm going to use one other shimmer shade, and I'm debating if I want to use one or the other. That's always the tough decision. I decided I'm going to go ahead and go in with Pulp Addiction. It's this one right there. It's kind of more of a peachy color, but I think that will go okay with what I am wearing today. So I'm going to take that on a Lunar Beauty 4 brush, and I'm just going to put that right here in my inner corner, bring it down on the bottom part of my lash line. That's really, really pretty too. I kind of expected it to be really pretty. I do feel some fallout. You might have noticed it since I do close-ups of when I'm applying my shadows, but I am going to grab my magnifying mirror here and just see how much I have. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fallout with the gold shimmers. I especially noticed more with the first one I put on, that darker one, which was called Unblunted. That's what I'm seeing mostly along my cheeks here. Let me see if it brushes away. And not so much. I am gonna have to touch that up, which I will do when I'm all done. But be aware, you're gonna have some fallout with that. So now my under eye looks really dark. Like I said, I will fix it. Right, so now I'm gonna move on to my lower lash line, and I normally try to take one of the shades that I used in my outer corner and bring it over, but today I want to use a totally different shade that I haven't used on my eye yet, and I think I want to go into Papaya Latex, and it's this one right here. Now these two shades, the Papaya Latex and this one, it is called Orange Fatale. So these two right next to each other, they may look different in the pan, but I just want you to know they're very, very similar when I swatched them. So I'm not really sure what to make of that, but just wanted you to know. But I am going to use the Papaya Latex for my lower lash line. I'm just taking a Morphe brush that has no number for this one. And again, I did tap it off. There's quite a bit on the brush here, so hopefully this works. And I'm just going to bring this over here. Wow, that's really pretty though. Yeah. I'm going to take a little more though. Again, I was really cautious with that. I don't want to overdo it. Instead I underdid it, so I add more. But it's still a pigmented shade, and it's brighter than it looks in the pan. Again, that's why I mentioned that those two shades look very, very similar. But I'm just going to take a little tiny bit more. I want to brighten that up. Blend that out. Because I got to clean up my under eye here. Because I do want to add a little bit more to my under eye here, but I'm going to go clean up that fallout first. Alright, so I was able to clean up the fallout that I experienced along my cheek here. At least that was pretty easy to do. Of course, to avoid that, you can always put down some setting powder that you can easily wipe away. I should have done that actually now that I think about it, but oh well. Alright, so what I want to do now is take a Morphe M506 brush and dip back into Vitamin C, which was that really light orange shade that I used up here, up by my brow. And I'm just going to apply that right underneath that last shade here. That works pretty well right there. It blends really nicely. I mean, again, it's a light shade, but I really wanted those two to go together. Just to give it a little bit more of that blending look. I think I'm going to take a little tiny bit more. I think this Vitamin C shade works really well to build up you want to do that. I think it is a good type of shade for building up. But that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, I got one eye done now. Let me go off camera, complete the other eye, and finish up the whole look, and then I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I am back. The look is finished. I am ready to go for the day. Now, I will give you a closer look at this creation, but first, I'm gonna go over with you what I used to complete it. So in my waterline, I went in with this cream gel eyeliner from ColourPop. It is in the shade Get Paid. Then for my lips, I didn't tell you this before, but I also did pick up a couple of liquid lips that are also from the Pricked collection. So this is the one I'm wearing today. It is in the shade Tangerine Queen. And just like the palette, this is my first time wearing this. And I also did use a mascara along my lower lashes. I used this one from Mary Kay Cosmetics. I don't know if there's another name for it. If there is, it just doesn't say it on here. But it is the only brown mascara that I own, so that's why I used that one. And for the wig that I am wearing today, she is Gardenia from Bobbi Boss. All right, now we can go ahead and take a closer look at this. So here it is. I, of course, love to hear your thoughts, so please go down the comment section and give me your respectful feedback on this look. I would really appreciate it. But there it is. And I had a vision in my head for what I wanted to create for you today, and it actually turned out like I envisioned it. So I love it when that happens. But I really do love this color story of this palette, and putting aside all of the things with Jeffree Star, I think that this is a palette a lot of people would love to have in their collection as far as the color story is concerned. It is perfect for the fall. It is a really nice one to use if you just want a nice neutral look but a pop of color. But honestly, those glitter shades just stole the show for me. Really did. This one here, which was, I forgot the name of it now, Unblunted, and then Glimmer of Hope. I love these two. So beautiful. Of course, you do experience quite a bit of fallout with them. It's not anything new that I haven't experienced before, but just something you need to be aware of. And there wasn't too much kickback in the pans either, except for vitamin C. I noticed a little bit more with that one, so it's more on the powdery side. But then again, it is a lighter shade too, and I do notice that the lighter shades do tend to be a little bit more powdery more often than not. But I am so excited to try some of these other shades, like, what is this one here? Fashion Whore. Yes, I said Fashion Whore. That's the name of it. I didn't come up with it, but it's this one right here on the top row in the middle. I think that is a beautiful shimmer shade that I just didn't get to try today. But I did really love the Pulp Addiction in the inner corner that I used. I think that just on the lid too is beautiful. But honestly, this palette, I had, you know, expectations that it was going to be good quality because all the other palettes I have tried from Jeffree Star Cosmetics were really good quality. So it didn't let me down. Really didn't. And I'm very, very happy with it. So I am going to go ahead and give it the thumbs up and recommend it. I hope that if you already have it, you enjoy it. I would love to know if you do have it, what you think about it. And if you decide to go get this palette after watching this video, I would love to know that as well. But really, I've got nothing more to say about it. But as always, I appreciate you watching. So thank you for that. And then I will catch you next time in my next video. So until next time, bye-bye.